Everyone's a Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm talking about Season 3, Episode 16, Paradise Lost. So I'm just going to be starting off with the plot summary and then just talking about my general thoughts about this episode along with some foreshadowing and Easter eggs I might have noticed. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says Malik's father died in 1970, leaving him and his brother Nathaniel to lead the religious side of Hydra, including periodically sending a sacrificial traveler chosen at random from Hydra's inner circle through the portal for Hive to inhabit until his return. Discovering that their father used a trick to never be chosen as the traveler, Gideon does the same and Nathaniel is chosen. In the present, Gideon tells his daughter Stephanie of his vision. He believes he saw his own death at the hands of Hive. Daisy and Lincoln track down James, an untransitioned inhuman with knowledge of Hive, who gives them an ancient Kree device. The rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. captures Guerra, Gideon's right-hand man, who is now loyal to Hive, a telekinetic inhuman. Guerra takes control of the bus and directs it to a Hydra base with most of S.H.I.E.L.D. as his prisoners. Hive comes to the Malik's house and reveals to Gideon that he has Nathaniel's memories. As punishment for Gideon's betrayal of Nathaniel, Hive murders Stephanie in front of him. So that's the plot summary for this episode. There's a couple things I missed. It also missed the fact that, well, James, the one that untransitioned inhuman, did not give the Kree device to Daisy and Lincoln. They took it. They kind of tricked him. They offered him up a Terrigen crystals because he wants to just transition. And he offered them a lot of information. They lied, but I get why they did. He probably shouldn't be. He seems like a bad guy. They also miss in the summary that Hive also revealed his Aqua head. We don't see the back, but we see, the tentacles and stuff like that. He revealed himself to the inner circle of Hydra as that. And so that was a cool little moment we get in this episode. It's fun. We don't really get to see the full thing, but we got to see a part of it. So that was a cool little thing we get in this episode. It was also, I liked the flashes of the young Malik. I thought that was a cool little device they used in this episode to kind of show you a little bit about what Malik's thinking about, his guilt leading up to this moment, and it actually ended up being exactly right, that it was his brother who had been sacrificed to Hive at one point. His memories were still with Hive, and I wanted to get a little revenge, which I get. Brother scorn, I get it, I got brothers. But yeah, some other things that were cool about this episode. We get May versus Guerra. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, to be honest, but between May and Gideon's right-hand man / Hive's right-hand man. So that was a cool little fight. I always like a little hand-to-hand action in one of these scenes. It's always cool to see May kick somebody's butt. I enjoy that. That's one of the reasons I like this show. What else do I have written down? The team now knows that Hive is in Ward's body. I forgot to mention that in the last episode or last video. But yeah, they know that and they're trying to figure out exactly what Hive is, and they seem to be thinking he's some kind of they seem to have figured out that he's some kind of parasitic inhuman who's able to shoot cells of himself at things to infect them with its parasite, whatever a parasite does to things, it takes over. I don't know what the word for that is. But yeah, so that was a kind of interesting take. I like that we learn a little bit more also about Hive and his background in this episode. Like I said, from James, the untransitioned inhuman that Daisy and Lincoln talked to, he explains that Hive was actually the inhuman that led the Inhuman revolt against the Kree originally, way thousands of years ago, which was a cool little fact to learn in this one. I didn't remember that from before, so that was a cool little thing to learn on the rewatch. But then the humans and the Inhumans and the humans had to team up to then banish Hive. I guess he probably got a little power hungry after getting rid of the Kree. But yeah, so that was a cool little bit of history learned about this one. And then at the end we get Daisy and Lincoln being like, oh, we got to call in the Secret Warriors. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense why we sent them off, so that they weren't part of the team, so we can bring them back for this. Makes sense. So I'm excited to get to the next episode where the Secret Warriors got to go rescue the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's everything I had for this episode in particular. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there was any Easter eggs or foreshadowing I may have missed, or anything about this episode you liked in particular. Thanks again for joining me today, and Have a good one.